Always fun. Oh, Michelle, good to see you. Seeing these names come through. Some of you I know, some of you I don't know. It's always fun to see these, especially Teresa, of course. Names come through and from new districts like a Charlotte Mecklenburg or ones who've been here for a while, like Trish and Teresa from Spokane. Always good to see you all. So welcome back. It's our first office hours of January, and whoo, I don't know about you all, but January has felt like a long one. I'm going to have Olivia launch a poll because I need to know if it's just me. Has January felt long for you? Is it maybe it's flying by? Maybe it feels totally normal. Maybe like for me, it feels like it's going at a turtle's pace. January is one of those months where it feels like it drags along, and then February hits, and then next thing I know, it's May. So here we are. But while we're all chiming in, I want to say thank you for showing up for our first office hours of 2025. I hope you all were able to get some R&R over the winter break. And if you were affected by those storms that hit the country over the last few weeks and you got snow and aren't used to it, I hope things are starting to return to normal for you. And we do have a bunch of districts who are with us in the LA area. So our thoughts continue to be with you and your community as you're battling those wildfires. We're sending you lots of love, and please, our door is always open if you ever need anything. You'll notice I'm not the only face on this slide or in our display today. With me, I have Olivia from our marketing team. She's going to be helping manage those chats and polls. She's been on for the last few office hours. She'll be able to interrupt me if we need and say, hey, Sharon, we have a question, and be guiding us behind the scenes. So thank you, Olivia, and welcome back. Appreciate you being here. All right, I'm also glad to know that I'm not the only one who feels like it's going at turtle pace. And for those of you who feel like it's flying by, share some of those secrets with us. So for us today, we're going to be talking all things executive summaries. We're going to be going over what they are, why you would want to do one, and then how you can customize and make one for your district. At the end of our time together, you're going to walk away knowing how to put one together, and we're going to include a template so you can customize it to fit your district's needs. When we get into the how, we'll go ahead and actually share that template in the chat in case you're wanting to build along with us. But we'll also share it out in the recording that we'll send out tomorrow if you're wanting to be more of a listener or an observer today. So first and foremost, what is an executive summary? Our executive summary gives a high-level view of your district's engagement with Let's Talk. It focuses on performance metrics, successes, and key recommendations. The goal is to deliver actionable insights and highlight areas of growth while ensuring that your team also understands the value provided to your district from our platform. If you've been wanting to show how Let's Talk is performing because you want to celebrate all the hard work your team has done, or maybe you want to advocate for expansion or get some leadership buy-in, this is a great place to start. Everything's going to be packaged into one page with engaging visuals that are easy to digest, and we're going to get to see that here in a few minutes. Before diving into the details of creating an executive summary, let's take a step back and explore why it's such a valuable tool for communicating effectively and also driving those results. So first and foremost, our executive summary is designed to grab your audience's attention, which is good because we know that you most likely have limited time. By presenting the most critical insights up front, it keeps it concise, it gets your audience engaged from the start, and this is especially important for superintendents or board members who don't have time to sit through and read through every single detail of a full report or even want to be able to log into the platform. This just keeps it nice and concise. Second, it's also going to help you focus the conversations. A lot of the times we can get derailed, be going in different directions if we don't have something that we're following. If someone wants to know how Let's Talk is doing, you're going to be able to highlight those key successes, challenges, priorities, and you can help frame that conversation to make sure that everyone stays focused on the most important aspects, like maybe you need to improve your response time, or you want to launch the chatbot or expand your implementation. Having this one sheet can help guide that conversation. On top of that, you can make sure that all of your stakeholders, regardless of the role, are on the same page. A lot of times we can be very siloed, but the executive summary distills the key takeaways into a common understanding, which is critical for making those collaborative decisions as we're moving forward. With our summary, it's not just about presenting data, it's also about driving action. So, what is it that you've already accomplished that you want to highlight? And what are those clear recommendations and next steps for going forward? It's a call to action as much as it is a summary. And I'll be showing you how to pinpoint where you can go next based on our maturity model. And finally, an executive summary reflects all of your hard work that you've done. It shows that you really know your implementation and the ROI it's having on your district. And by presenting this complex information in a clear, concise, and polished format, you're going to look like a total rock star while also building trust with your audience.
Hi, Sharon. I want to just jump in. We have a couple comments about audio.
Yeah.
There was one that said they don't have audio. Can anyone else hear us? Anyone else having audio issues? Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So, Olivia, will you just chat into, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
I lost it. Lori, she might just need to turn up her volume.
All right.
Thanks, everyone. That's helpful. When those come through, my stomach always drops. I'm like, oh no, have I just been talking to myself for the last few minutes? So thank you. It's always best to just speak up so we can help troubleshoot when we're there. So let's go ahead and shift and focus on how you can create an executive summary that's clear, impactful, and actionable. So Olivia, I know I just put you on the spot to help Lori, but I'm also going to have you throw into the chat the link to this Canva template. Once you get this, it should be that you cannot edit this, that you're only able to make a copy of it. So make sure as we're doing this, you make a copy and you're not going along with what we have. And I'm going to show you right here how to do this. So if you are following along with me, go ahead in your top left-hand corner. I'll slow down in case some of you are logging in. You have that file option. And down here we have make a copy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so then I can customize this, word it what I want, make sure that this is truly mine that I'm using. So again, head to your file, head down to make a copy. All right, and here we go. Now I see that it says copy. Let's talk executive summary. And I'm going to go ahead and just fully customize this for my district. Now I know Canva, sometimes it's hard to see. I'll do my best to be zooming in and out to make sure that we're getting all of the information without making you a little seasick as we move around. So up here at the top, go ahead and rename this. I'm going to be doing my Newfie School District. Something that's a good tip is when you're saving it, go ahead and put that time in there in case you're like, gosh, when was the last time I did this? You are going to be able to go ahead and edit that up here, but that'll help you. So for us, we're now just going to start working top to bottom, and then we're actually going to go right to left here in a second. So here we've added these nice X's for you to know that you need to update these. And it's always important in here to know what is the time frame of data that we can make a copy. All right. Yes. So Dr. Tasha, up here in the file, go ahead and click that. And down here we have make a copy. And of course, happy to stay on after as well with anybody who's having some questions as we're going through. And that template should allow you to make a copy. Perfect. Okay. For us today, I'm going to say that my data that I'm looking at is actually going to be from last year. January 1st of 2024, 2024 to December 31st of 2024. I have a lot of districts that they present monthly to their boards on how things are going. I have some that do high-level summaries at the end of the school year. You can really customize this to how you want. Now, Lisa, have you tried kind of clicking around as you go through? There you go. Pat said you might need to click use template for new design first. This is helpful. Thank you, Pat. For those of you who are Canva experts. And Olivia, will you drop the link in one more time into the chat? Thank you. And don't worry, we will be sending out the link again in the recording tomorrow. So if for some reason you can't grab it or you're just sitting back and watching, that will be coming through for us. So at the top, I've gone in, I've put my school district name, I've put those dates that we're looking at, and here's where I'm going to start moving right to left. So right here, I have my key performance indicators. What I'm going to be plugging in first is the data that's easy for me to access from my dashboard. So I'm going to hop here into my Let's Talk account. I've already gone in before we've logged in and set the dates that I'm looking at to make it easy for me to pull. But as a reminder, you have this section up here with your little caret where you get to choose what dates you're looking at. You can customize it with our quick options right here. But for me, I did just that custom date range. So again, I'm looking at January 1st through December 31st. And with my key performance indicators, I'm looking at how many dialogues were received, what was my district CX score, my dialogue age, and I'm also going to be looking at my chatbot questions, and we'll come to that in a second. So for now, I just need to be grabbing these 3 pieces of information. I'm going to hop back into my template. And sometimes you need to just give it a double click to get it going. That's something for me that kind of catches me up. And I'm going to go ahead and just put in that information. I know I had 2,231 number of dialogues. Now you can tab through these. I'm going to skip my chat questions asked for now and put in my average response time of 1.5 days. Now, if you are a district that looks at this in hours, make sure you edit down below where it says days and put in hours in that parentheses. I know there are a few of you on the call who do that. Tab one more time down to my average customer experience. I have my 8.8, and down below we have what that national average is, just as a helpful piece of information as you're doing this. So now I need to come back and have my chat questions asked. If you're a district that isn't using the chatbot yet, you can either delete these 2 boxes and move these 3 around. But what I recommend doing is go ahead and actually input 0. This is an opportunity to advocate for the chatbot. And it's a valuable resource that your district could be getting on board and helping drive that ROI if it was launched. So I'm going to come back into my dashboard. If you've never checked out your chatbot dashboard, now's a great time. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to have your Let's Talk assistant. I've already opened mine. And once again, I've already pre-sorted my dates that I'm looking at. So those can be found in your top right-hand corner. And just like in your other dashboard, you can filter what you're looking at. I went ahead and did the same dates as before. Now, what I'm looking at to input into my executive summary is my total questions asked, this first number up here. You have your session started. So those are how many people showed up to engage with the chatbot, but then how many questions were actually asked inside the chatbot. A lot of times people will show up and ask multiple questions. So I'm wanting to gather this number right here. So I'm going to hop back over and input in here, 069. Now, for those of you that are using the chatbot, or even if you aren't, this is a great place to highlight like, hey, you know what? We actually received almost as many chats as we did dialogues last year. If you're looking at last year, chances are that will be normal because our chatbot launch didn't even become available until April. I have a lot of districts that even since then, their chatbots are 2x, 3x of how many dialogues they're getting. And that's a fantastic ROI for you to show of like, hey, people are showing up, they're using this, they're engaging with it. We believe we've actually diverted potentially 2,000 dialogues coming in by letting our chatbot answer those questions for us behind the scenes. So it's a great number to highlight. If you have that as a 0, that's another great thing to say of, hey, I've seen other districts where I know other districts are receiving almost as many dialogues, if not more. I think this could be a great value add for us to get this going and help take some of the pressure off of responding by letting our chatbot do it. So now that I have my KPIs filled out, I'm actually now going to head over to the left. Again, I'm just filling out my dashboard information first, which is making this helpful. Right here, I have my Let's Talk dialogues. Before I pop into my dashboard, I want to show you a few little tips with this section. So first, you need to actually click on it to let it edit, for it to give you access to go ahead and edit it. So here I have that, and my bar popped up. For those of you who said, I'm not seeing my bar, I've had that happen to me with this before. Sometimes it shows up for me on the left. It kind of depends on how your Canva settings are set up. Sometimes it shows up for me on the top. You might just have to click and look around a little bit in case yours is showing up in a different spot than mine. Go ahead and click that edit. For you, it might be set up that this automatically just pops out, which is fantastic. Now, something to note is you might be looking at this, so like, okay, Sharon, well, we're looking at January through December, but you only have 8 bars there. What's the plan here? So all of these X's that you're seeing are editable. You can remove some of these, you can add them together. For us, we're actually going to combine months. We make six bars versus 12. And then here at the top, if you're a district that you're like, gosh, my response time is really high, I know that I have folks that are sitting in that unopened, that pending details, that in progress. You can add those along the top and add some different colors. So you can actually be showing maybe your superintendent of like, hey, we have these common offenders. As you can see, we have this whole section of this month that we are still sitting with open dialogues. So you can really customize this to fit your needs. For me today, I'm going to leave it just as this is. And like I said, I'm going to combine those months. So we're going to do January, February, March, April. And if you are combining like me, I recommend with just the size of this, just using the first 3 letters of each month. So it's not getting run on or bleeding together. You want this to also be visually easy to digest. May, June, July, August, and I'm just hitting the enter button and it's just taking me down this list. Here I have my November, December. Now I have those few extra X's. I'm just going to go ahead and delete these, and they're just going to be removed straight from that bar graph. Now that I've got this set up how I want, I need to actually input the correct data for me. So once again, I'm coming back into my dashboard. Let's head back into my regular everyday dashboard and scroll down. And you're looking for the bar graph that you see here in Let's Talk. Pretty similar, easy to find. Here we are. Now, if you didn't know, you can actually hover over each bar graph to know how many of your dialogues came in. So here I can see that we received 127 and all of those were closed. Great job to my team. I don't have any that are sitting in progress or pending details or unopened. You would see those colors appear here, which you could replicate on your graph as well. Now for me, I would just be adding these 2 months together. To save you all the time of me doing math, we'll just head back over. I'm just going to plug in some numbers. May, June, let's say we got July, August. That's always a popular month, especially with September and October too, as people are getting ready. And then November, December, we generally see that kind of tick down as people take breaks. And so now I've seen this come to life for me right here in real time. Next, I'm going to move over to my Let's Talk topics. Now, another hot tip with this is within Canva, it makes it look so beautiful. It doesn't give you a lot of room to write. So if you have long topic names, you're going to want to abbreviate as you're filling this out, and you'll see me do that in a second. So again, hopping into my Let's Talk dashboard, I've already filtered this to be my top 5. It's just right here at the very bottom under my graph. Yours might be showing up with all or your top 10, but again, you can just hit that little caret and select what you want. So I know I have Mac High School. I'm going to abbreviate that. Bond's going to be just fine. My BPS transportation I already know is too long. I'm going to be to abbreviate that. My media requests and Weinberger Elementary as well. So once I click here, just like before, I've got my X's I need to fill in. So I'm just going to do Mac HS. Our bond was easy. We have BPS transpo, media requests, and Weinberger Elementary. I'm going to come in and just fill in those numbers. 3 and 60. Oh, Kathy, we will definitely get that sent out to you. Or if you want to stay on after, we'll make sure that you can access it. Ooh, let's bring my edit back. So if you're like, where did Sharon get these numbers from? Right here on the right-hand side is where I have these all listed out, that 251, 79, 77, etc. And as I come back, let's pull in so you can see. We can see Mac High School has that big piece of the circle with everything around it. Now you can see how like media requests, if that had kept going, it would have just bled into it, high school. So use your best judgment. Usually if you keep them nice and abbreviated like this, it's going to be just fine. All right, now instead of working top to bottom, we're actually going to keep scrolling down and get to our dialogue metrics because I want to fill in everything from my dashboard to make sure that that's all ready to go before I get into actually putting in my recommendations and what do I need to work on. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Tasha, for putting that in. That's really helpful. Love it with y'all helping one another. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So with our dialogue metrics, I'm going to head back into our dashboard. If you use a double screen, this is where your life is going to be very helpful. I'm not usually toggling between the two. You're going to actually head back up into your dialogue metrics. We have our customer type and our dialogue type. Now, if your district is utilizing call center or chatbot, you might see a big bucket like we're seeing right here. We utilize both in this account right here that's saying unknown. That's because a lot of times we don't actually know, or people might not pre-select who they are when they're starting their session with us, so they get dumped into that. We don't have an unknown section on here just because some districts don't have this. You can either add that in or add that as a talking point during your presentation. If you're like, hey, you're adding up all the math and the math isn't mapping, here's why. So something else to note as a hot little tip, if you fully delete this, parent guardian, it's actually gonna unbold this. And you can see now it just went to regular type. So what I do when that happens is I either select and bold, or when I come over to my employees, kind of just what's gonna work best for you in your flow. If you put your number next, actually go back and then delete that. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Also happens with emails that create the dialogue. So students, let's go ahead. You're going to see again that little trick that I do. I don't know if it's necessarily a trick, but I input it that I don't have to go back and hit my bold button. I just put my numbers right here at the end, delete those X's, and it stays bolded for me. Same with my question, put that in. Question's generally going to be your highest that you're looking at. We're going to see that come to life in this account. With my suggestion, we actually had less than one. Maybe we want to hear more from our community and open that up with a suggestion box for them. Only seeing 2% concern, which is great. If you are a district that's a little high, generally you know why. There's been something that's gone on in the community. But if not, if you're looking at that, scratching your head, great time to kind of look into that and see what's going on. Last thing to note is at the bottom, I highly suggest putting in your renewal date. Chances are, especially if you're presenting to the board, they might be asking, okay, well, what's our budget? When are we up for renewal? Where are we at? And you want to be able to have it right there in your fingertips and say, great, our renewal isn't coming till June 30th of 2026. I feel confident that we'll be able to expand or get the chatbot launch, etc., before that date. So we've got this nicely filled out. Let me zoom out so we can see our whole picture, except there's this one last spot for us to fill in. It's our what's going well and what are my recommendations. Now, I know I've put in some talking points in here for y'all. This is going to be a great place for you to reflect on what are things that you know that you have accomplished over the last year. Something like maybe you did a gratitude campaign, maybe you had a bond that passed that you use this, maybe you're collecting budget feedback, calendar feedback, etc. But we also have our maturity model. Now I'm going to show that to you in a second. I'm going to be honest, the slide is a little wordy. This will be sent out with you as well. but these are those key milestones of a Let's Talk implementation. So if you've done an executive business review with us, this is how we bucket where you are in your customer service journey. Our goal is to have this as filled out as possible so you have that full customer-centric culture at your district. A good place to start when you're looking at this is starting in the tactical and moving left to right to hit those key milestones. So for me, if I was to be making this for you, I know some of those key pieces and fun things that y'all have done. And then I usually look through each of my buckets to know what is it that they have accomplished, and then what's missing in here that I know is going to give them the most bang for their buck quickly. So for my account, I know that I have my Let's Talk Assistant is up with my pop-out tab. I have my main landing page. I have my central office departments, but you know what? I need to build out a few custom forms, access that text messaging. Under my strategic, I'm using my dashboard because I'm here right now building this, but I know that I have some topics that are receiving a lot of dialogues, like transportation, that I could split into their own landing page. And I'd really love to expand to my campuses this year. So I'm kind of going back between the two and doing that first assessment of how's that going. So in here again, I've put some prompts in here for you to just kind of help you be thinking, what do I need to work on? But for me, I know I have the tab with my Let's Talk Assistant, again, which is the chatbot. I have my main landing page. I have my top departments. I know that I launched a teacher appreciation. And what else did I say? I have my, here we go. I have my workflows set up and I'm leveraging my dashboard. Workflows, templates, and alerts. Those are your critical alerts. And utilizing dashboard. Now, I know, change that. With my recommendations, you heard me look through. Now, a key, if you're in here, if you've made it into the template and you're looking through, you might notice that there's actually 2 pages. So page 2 is not for us to be filling out or any information. This is just highlighting what's coming to Let's Talk in 2025. So if you're thinking about adding call center, now you can know that we're going to be continuing to expand those features. ITSM, ITAM is coming. So we're going to be offering some tech ticketing for service management and asset management. Then those generative AI insights, those are automatically going to go into your account. But I can know for me, like, oh, my district's up. We need a new tech ticketing, or we really need to be streamlining all of our different platforms. Gosh, I would love to explore that. So here's a great place that you can know what are new products that are coming that you want to put in there. So for me, I know I want to look at ITSM, ITAM. I need to add in those custom forms, and that could be a great place that you could go ahead and customize. I'm going to say for bullying and media requests, especially because I knew that media requests was a top topic up here. I'm going to come back and look again and say, oh, you know what? I would love to add text messaging, and that's right. I also have those high topic volumes that I want to add in. So I'm going to add in text option for more equitable access. And I want to expand top topics like transportation. And I've been getting a lot of questions on enrollment, so add that in as well. So now I'm going to zoom out. I have this nice one sheet that's ready to go. I feel comfortable now if I need to stand in front of my board or in front of my superintendent, and I can confidently answer questions that they have, share what's going well, share where I want to go, and look like a total rock star to them. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, gosh, Sharon, I love this, but I just am so strapped for time. We're rehiring, our superintendent's transitioning. I am just drowning over here. Your dedicated CSM can always make this for you. So reach out to us. We just need to know what dates do you want this to cover? When do you need it by? I'd ask that we give at least a week to 2 weeks notice just to make sure that they can get it over to you in the right amount of time. We do this all the time for upcoming board meetings, cabinet presentations. superintendent one-on-ones, we're more than happy to help. Yes, great question. Can we revisit how to get the chat questions asked? Of course. So let's head back into my Let's Talk account. Let me scroll up. So when you first come to the dashboard, it's going to put you right into that overview. Look for your Let's Talk assistant. So that should be for you probably the second one down. I'm in a dummy account, so we have a few different ones in here like call center and equity, but look for the one that says Let's Talk assistant. And then right here on the left-hand side, it's going to have your LTA usage. And that very first number is your total questions asked. So that's the number that you're going to want to pull. Always good to have in your back pocket if somebody's like, well, okay, we got 2,000 questions asked. How many users actually came up? You can say, oh, about 880. We got people asked on average 2.2 questions when they were here. And then another thing that's not on here, but it's also good to know, of that, we had 14 dialogues submitted. So we can assume that most, if not all, questions were able to be answered by the chatbot, and we were able to help divert some dialogues as well by this. And if any other questions come up, please continue to pop them in. Always here to help. So we're going to go ahead. I'll give you all time to type those in and talk about what's coming next month. So with that, I'm going to have, Kathy, woo, I wish I could send off a little confetti cannon. Congratulations. I'm happy to stay on if questions come up after we announce next month's topic. So I'm going to have Olivia pop in one more poll, question, etc. into the chat. Let's see if my computer will do it. All right, here we go. What do you want to hear from us, and what do you want us to cover in 2025? Next month's topic actually came from one of our districts that said, hey, I really wish that you could do a user training refresher. I have people who either never showed up or they haven't done it in about 18 months, and they don't know about the email replies and the AI responses that we can put in there, or how to merge them together. So we're actually taking that suggestion and we're running with it. Next month, we're going to be doing a user training refresher. This will be open to all users as well as system admins. Usually these are just for our system admins. So this is going to be open for everybody. What we want to know, are there any districts that you want to hear from? Are there any speakers? Maybe you want to hear from Krista Coleman, our head of client success from here. Maybe you want to talk to Sue Hale, the CEO. Put those in here. We're always happy to kind of fit these to what you all want to hear about. Also, if you're like, I want to think about this, go ahead. You can reply to that email that I'll send out with the recording. My door is always open. We're always happy to help accommodate and get some ideas from you. So thank you, folks, for showing up. I love seeing these familiar names. I love seeing some new names that I hadn't seen before. We are always so excited to help you, to be here for you. We're looking forward to next month, and I really hope that these executive summaries come in handy for you as you're navigating 2025. So thank you so much for joining us. Recording will be coming out, as Olivia said. I will stay on for about 1 to 2 more minutes if any questions come up. If not, take off, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll all talk to you soon.